tutorial, I will show you how to create a chair shaped like this. Okay, this time we will be making it with different components, but still make it all in the same design. Okay, so you can actually move different parts and so on if needed. So open up a new design. And same as before, we will create a rectangle representing the maximum height of the chair and the maximum depth. I will draw a line across the center. And then very simply use the trim tool. I'm going to trim away this, this, and this. Okay. I don't actually need this line even, because what I'm going to do now is draw a straight line up at an angle. So I'm going to make this about 450, maybe a little bit higher actually, 480 for the back of the chair. Doesn't quite look right yet, but let's make it 500 and see. I can always change this later. Make the angle about 95, maybe 100. So you have something like that. This distance looks too long now. Obviously you've done the research and you've done your design work, so you should know the distance from here to here, from here to here, based on anthropometrics, based on product analysis of other similar chairs. So you should know the dimensions before you start. Let's just make that 500. Bring it back a little bit. Getting better. Use the fillet tool now, and I'm going to curve these front edges off to 100, and I'm going to do the same here. So the curves all look the same, gives it a more even look. Finish that sketch. Yeah, that looks correct to me. Sorry, I should not have come out of that sketch. What we need to do then, if we do that, is go back into that sketch. So click on the drop down arrow here beside sketches, right click and go to edit sketch. So we're back in now. So we want to use the offset tool. I want to click on that line, that line, that line, that line, that line. And I want to enter a bigger value, something like 18 mil. Use a sort of a standard thickness of sheet material, which may be suitable for making a chair like this. Use the line tool, zoom in, finish off the sketch, close the ends. So you see it filling with a color, means you've created a good profile. And that's it. So let's finish that sketch now, and let's extrude this to be the first part. So let's make the width of this sort of chair something like 450, and let's make it a new component. So in this case, what we want to do first of all is select it and right click and ground it. Okay. Before we move on to make the other parts, we could do a lot of different things here to this component. We can continue to edit it, so I could do things like rounding off corners. Let's zoom in and select all these 4 sharp corners on the ends. Let's give them quite a big fillet. So like curve off, let's have a look what it looks like. Maybe a little more, try to double the size. Yeah, quite like that. Maybe bring it back a little bit. Right. We can add features to faces. So the back of the chair could have some sort of pattern into it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a center line. I'm going to right click and toggle construction. I'm going to make some circles down the middle. Something like that. I'm going to add random circles and shapes on one side. If I want to move things, just escape, come out of the circle tool, and and click and drag so you can move them to wherever you want. Again, experiment, make your own patterns and so on. Then what I will do here is click on the mirror tool and choose under objects, choose the objects that you want to reflect. I only need these ones because the others are in the center. Mirror line, select and choose the central line you drew. And you'll see it reflects it to keep it symmetrical sort of pattern. Finish the sketch. I'm just going to select these holes and make an extrusion or a cut through the back of the chair, making sure it's a cut. Alright. So it just gives another design feature to the chair. Yeah, just looking at this, I think this distance is probably not quite proportionally correct. This distance looks too high from the bottom to where the person would be sitting on. It's important you work out your dimensions and get those sort of proportions correct. Maybe a little bit long as well from here to the front here. So again, you can change those dimensions by going back into the bodies. Or sorry, going back into the sketches you created and altering these sketches. So edit the sketch. Let's try, see what happens. Make it a bit lower. Okay, sometimes things like that happen. What happens, just come back. Yeah, because you've already made a lot of constraints here on different things, it can be problematic to change your design in this case. So let's just leave it. 450 should be an okay height. So we'll finish the sketch. Right, so now we're going to make the arms for the chair. So I've made a new sketch on the side here of the chair. I'm going to use this tool, the spline tool. I'm going to start roughly where it looks the correct height. I'm going to use the offset tool. Click on that line and again make it 18mm, so it's a similar thickness to the other sheet material which makes up the body of the chair. So I make sure that's 18. I'm going to draw a line from here to here. I'll draw a line from here to here. And that looks roughly correct. You can obviously use the dimension tool to make things a little bit more precise. From here to there to the front, so I know how high that is from. So let's make that 125. Again, so you can control the position of the main components in relation to each other. Don't mind that curve. Came down a little bit, but it looks quite good. So let's finish that sketch. What we could see what happens if we try to. No, let's just leave it. Finish the sketch. Extrude. And let's make that 70. And again, this time, new component. Okay. Okay. So now we'll create the object below which holds the arm in place and joins it to the rest of the chair. We go back these bits. So again, new sketch on the side of the chair. We will draw a line, say we'll start maybe here, and we'll draw a line down. We'll make that line, say 200, see what it looks like. Yep. Let's draw a line across. Let's make that 22. And line up again 200 to make it the same as the other side. We want to set the angles, so here to here. Oh, sorry, the fillets. Use the fillet tool and put a fillet on the bottom here and here. We will also use the dimension tool and do the angle between here and the base. So 100 degrees, which is fine. Let's try that one. So let's make that 100 the same. Okay. We will draw a line from here to here. And then we will use the offset tool. So I will click on this, flip it, and I'll make that -5. Same over here, offset it, 5. But you want to go the other way, so flip it, and click OK. Down here we can now get rid of some of these other lines, so let's press T for trim. Delete that, delete that. Okay, let's finish off this up here. Obviously, really, we should have more accurate or more realistic joints. This wouldn't just stick up into this arm. There'd be some sort of bracket here, which you could screw or bolt this top arm down onto this piece of material. But you can have a go at doing that yourself. We'll put 2 holes down here. Somewhere like that. Let's make them 20 mil. And equally, let's measure from here to here so we get a standard distance. Let's draw one more over here somewhere. So you can see it's getting a little bit crazy with dimensions now. You can always clear these dimensions off as you work. Sometimes it helps to be able to see what you're doing. So again, clicking from here to the center of the circle, dragging down to get that horizontal dimension between here to here, and making it the same as the other side, so the object is symmetrical. That should be finished. Right, so if you see, if I turn around, I have the sketch drawn on under the arm, onto the side of the chair. So let's click on extrude. Let's choose all those sides, and let's enter a distance slightly smaller than the distance or the width of the arm, which was 70. So let's make this, say, 50. See what it looks like. Make sure it's a new component. Click OK. As I said before, this isn't really realistic. There would have to be some sort of bracket on here for this bit to join to that bit, but at the moment, this will do for the representation of a chair. So we've done that side and that side. What we also need is a component underneath. And this gets a bit tricky. So what we will do, first of all, we need to draw it in the middle of this object. At the moment, we don't have a work plane in the middle of this object to draw onto. We can draw onto these surfaces. I could try and draw onto the bottom, but I'm going to show you another way of doing this. So watch carefully, please. I'm going to construct. I'm going to go to mid plane. I'm going to choose that edge. I'm going to turn it around, hold down the shift key, and select that edge. So you see it creates a new work plane in the middle. So that's using the mid plane tool under construction. There's other ways of doing it, but that's probably the quickest way of getting the work plane exactly in the middle of an object. Click OK. So I have that. Now what I want to do is draw onto this work plane. So create sketch, select that work plane. Okay, so I want the same profile what I've just drawn here, exactly the same in the middle. So there's a tool, very useful tool under here called project. And what I can do is I can select the edge of this object, select the edge here, select the edge here, maybe some of these bits and pieces, maybe select that, and that, and that. And what you'll see, if you look underneath, it's actually projected from these edges, it's projected the sketch, or projected these edges onto this work plane to create a new sketch. So click OK. For some reason, at times, it doesn't let you delete the lines, the extra lines, but you don't really need to do that anyway. So I've got, let's just check, yeah, that's sitting in the right place, roughly. Actually, I've got the wrong line there. It should be in the line below, because this object sits on the bottom. So I shouldn't have projected this line, I should have projected the bottom. So let's do that one more time and see whether I can get this right. Project. So let's choose that edge, that's it. And you can see I've now got, okay, so finish the sketch, go to extrude, select those projection lines. You want this to be a symmetric, and you want it to be, say, 50. And again, this is a new component. So you can see it. The great thing about being able to project lines is we know everything's perfectly in line with each other. Okay, so what I can do now is I can select that component, and I can use the mirror tool again. So two objects are selected, then I can select the middle plane. Now, for some reason, the middle plane has disappeared. Let me just see if I can see them here. It should be somewhere. No, okay, so all I need to do is go back again, pretty easy to fix, and make a new plane again. So exactly the same thing, mid plane. So create a work plane in the middle again. So again, let's just select those two components down here on the left hand side, so you see them. Oh, sorry, not that one actually. I want that one. No, I want that one. That one. And then we shall go to create, mirror. So you've got the two objects selected again. This time I can see the central plane. So we click on select and choose that. And you'll see it just simply replicates it across here. So as before, at the moment I can move these, so they do or can easily move. You may not want that, you may do, depends what you're trying to create. But what I'll do, as before, I'll just fix all these or ground them. So I'm going to ground all these components so they cannot move. You can undo this later if you wanted to, or if you need to. Alright, now nothing moves. One last thing is the two round tubes or bars which hold the sides onto the chair through the middle part. So again, a sketch onto here. I want to draw two circles exactly in the same place as these two holes. Then finish the sketch. And I want to extrude, put them through. Can't quite remember the distances that should be, probably 550. Right. So let's try minus. That's it, and new component. Remember to make new component every time and click OK. Again, I can move those, so let's fix them in place. There you go. I click and ground. And that is your chair. To add colour, press A. You get the appearance tab. Just move this over here. You can go down through it. The great thing about having different components is easier to colour different parts. So let's choose bamboo for this component. Make the arms the same. Let's have a look at other materials. So let's close the wood down. Maybe plastic. You know, for a minute, let's have a look at metals. So we could maybe colour these two side metallic parts perhaps. Let's just give them quite a bright vivid color. Let's go back into, let's have a look through brass. So let's make the bottom 2. And let's make that the same as that. And that's it. If you want to clear, sometimes you have work plane still appearing and just affects the appearance of the object. If you go down here, you have display settings. If you go to object visibility, it's just appearing off your screen here. But if you go to object visibility and you've got an option called all work features, just uncheck it. So all work features, uncheck it, and it just makes it look better. Okay. This is the great thing about Fusion 360. You can do quite nice applications of materials and colors and so on. You've got a lot more control. You also have a lot more control in the render settings, which you might want to experiment with to get really, really high quality images. Okay, thank you. One more tutorial.